Slash and Burn is a podcast about fanfiction. It is filled with loud swearing and explicit sexual description. It is not for children, nor the weak of stomach, nor will. Although we attribute to authors as best we can, we have no legal rights to the written works we discuss, nor the characters and universes upon which they are based. We also firmly believe that as long as what you're doing isn't hurting anyone else, whatever you do to get your jollies is all well and good. Join us and have some laughs over the world of fanfic. And seriously, this shit is filthy. You've been warned. Welcome to the magical realm. Hello, S&Bs. Welcome to another. We're still trying that out. Right? You weren't really sold on it last episode, but I figured I'd try it again and see what your reaction was. But it seemed to be derisive laughter.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's.
Well, I mean, we need some sort of cute catchphrase because that's what people do, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm fine with it, I guess. I might derisively laugh every time. But...
We can get workshop and stuff. I don't know. It just came to me in a dream.
We vetoed slashers, right?
Yeah, we did. That sounded bad. And burners.
Yeah.
Those are drug dealer cell phones. Welcome to another episode of Slash and Burn. You wouldn't know it, but this is the podcast about fanfiction that you don't tell your coworkers about, even though you're really proud of it.
Yeah. Even when you are the one who records it.
Yeah. Yeah. It came up the other day at a coworker lunch.
Really?
Yeah, I mentioned that I was going to be recording a podcast, and they didn't ask. They didn't ask for the information.
They probably know better.
If they did, I was going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to. Nope.
It's like, you don't want those two worlds to collide.
Not
ever.
in the least. Just like when everybody I used to play cards with asked me what my erotica author name was. It was like,
yeah,
nope, never. So, hello. Thanks for tuning in. This will be episode 3 of the 2-mic era.
If our numbering system wasn't confusing enough, you got to be throwing this in there now.
It's season 2.
Oh
this is the 2-mic season. So, although that makes the pilot make more sense.
Does it?
Yeah, because TV shows have a pilot at the beginning.
I guess. Yeah, all right.
And they go into different seasons.
The unaired Sherlock pilot, I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it's like the first episode except way gayer. It's wonderful. If you don't believe me, go watch it.
I have not watched it, but I've heard that from people who aren't you.
Yeah, it's true. It's great. I'm like, why didn't they just keep this and then go with this show?
So what I have written down here is this will be episode 3 of the 2-mic era, and I think based on the humiliation episode, which I've just finished listening to, this will be a brand new paradigm in listenability. Now, I wrote that before we spent 50 fucking minutes trying to get these levels to look okay with the 2 mics. I think that we got it.
Write it down or screen cap it or something, for the love of God.
I can save it in Voice Meter. That's a free plug for a Voice Meter. Your piece of shit software made me take an extra 50 minutes out of my day.
That was a great plug.
Mm-hmm. Well, they haven't paid me, so
that's fair.
Yeah. But hopefully you have now heard the humiliation episode, which we heard and we really thought it sounded a lot better. Hopefully you have now also heard the Transformers episode, which we have yet to hear, but based on how much I enjoyed recording it, I think might be the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
God, that episode was fucking great.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a long one, isn't it?
It clocks in at about 3 hours. By the time that gets through editing, we'll be lucky to get it down to 2 1/4.
Yeah.
That's going to be a long one. But it was so good, folks. If that makes you upset, this one probably going to be a lot shorter, because, man, was I disappointed with this week's fandom when I went a-searching. So why don't you, hold on.
I had, high hopes, but...
Yeah, I know, right? It sounded so good when you suggested it. We'll get to that in a moment. What is up with you, Kera?
Not a whole lot. No. Same old.
How's your human-faced baby doing?
She's good. She's very good. She
should specify adult human.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be weird if she just had a human face.
Has she makes great expressions, and his dad apparently said something like, "Oh, are they the one with the baby with the human face?"
Well, I think he said adult. I think I threw human in there to make it sound funnier. I'm a storyteller at heart. But yeah.
But no, she's good and stuff. Sitting. It's cool.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
It's just baby. You're turning into one of those.
Yeah.
What's up with you? Oh, well, my kid made the cutest face and ate a grape.
God, no. She's never eating any grapes. I don't want her to choke to death. That's fine. But I'm just saying, she's never eating any grapes. They are like perfectly designed choking spheres.
I apologize, everybody.
But I'm calling an end to the What's Kira's Etsy shop contest because I think I'm going to put some stuff up soon that might appeal to our audience.
Oh, cool.
So you've got until I list those things, and then I'm going to actually plug it. So if you don't, this $5, nobody's getting it.
Yeah, man, I got $5 sitting in my PayPal just waiting.
Yeah, so that's a lot of working, a lot of baby watching. That's what I got.
I've been playing Battleborn and Stellaris and Stardew Valley. Also watching helplessly as my workplace implodes around me. So that's been...
Sounds like fun. Yeah. So I guess you still have a job for now, huh?
Thanks. Way to rub that in.
Sorry. Yeah. I thought it was a good thing. People like jobs, right?
Oh, you mean that I didn't get fired unexpectedly?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, people don't like jobs.
I like my jobs.
I was so bored at work on Friday. I was just refreshing the new things on Ask Reddit and just like responding to everything, even if I had nothing actually to say. I just make up a joke answer. But one of them was.
I bet people loved that.
I got a fair number of upvotes for some of them. But the one was what is your profession and do you enjoy it at all? And I put in accountant and not in the least. And the topic creator replied to me and was like, oh, really? Why do you not like it so much? I was thinking of maybe becoming that. And I'm like, well, it's not.
It's a fine profession.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just getting up and doing a thing you don't give a fuck about every single day is such a slog, man. And then he asked me how much money I made, and I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable. Like, my real name's not on my Reddit account. But I still don't know that I feel like putting that out there.
I probably would have said it. It's not like they know who you are or where you work or, like, any of your details, so whatever. Who cares?
I mean, you could probably, considering I only use, like, 3 names for things on the internet, you could probably piece it together pretty well at this point.
Still. I mean, you could have given him a range, at least.
Between $10,000 and $100,000.
That's a broad range.
Right. This week we have for you Shrek, which was Kira's idea.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I've never really watched. I have some small knowledge of it by cultural osmosis. Like, I'm sure I've seen bits of it on TV, and like
I'm pretty sure there was a big thing there for a while. We were at Wings at the Works upstairs one time, and it was on TV.
Right. So I've got.
So I know you've at least.
Right. We've got some friends who are creepily into it for adults who at the time didn't have children.
We do.
Yeah.
Who?
Oops. They don't want their names on here.
What that? All right, I guess.
Put a big bleep sound over it instead. That'll be funnier. But leave all of this in about how they don't want to be mentioned on it. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know. But you have seen the films. Have you seen all of the films?
I don't know. I thought I did, but then when I was looking through this, I was like, I don't remember any of this.
There was 3 and then the spinoff, right? There was 4 and then the spinoff, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen all those.
Okay.
I know I've seen the first one and the second one, and I don't know, maybe the third one. Let's see. But go ahead, keep talking.
Okay, well, my follow-up question to that was, so how many times have you jerked off to them?
None times.
You're not yes-handing me very well.
Sorry. How many times have none, and how many have you?
Well, I haven't seen them, so it's pretty hard to jerk off to something you haven't seen. I don't have the imagination to.
I see.
To do it without staring directly at it these days. Well, now I can't anymore. Like, sure, when I was 8, that was what I did. But these days with the internet, it's all been ruined. I can't go back to using my imagination anymore.
But the imagination's so much better.
I got some pretty good porn.
But you can. No, you don't.
So anyway, yeah, that's our topic. something interesting happened when we started looking into it, and I think we'll explore that as we go through the arc of our stories. How many do you have, by the way?
I have 3, and one that I just want to mention very briefly.
Okay, I also have 3. Do you think you have a really solid opener or closer or anything?
No, they're all kind of fine, I guess.
That's kind of how I felt about most of mine.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll go first then. How about that? And
okay.
Then we can see how it goes from there.
Okay.
My first one, this is titled Now You See Me. It's by Hermione, Queen of Green, on Archive of Our Own. She has not written only Shrek fic, by the way. She's got 5 stories up there, and only 3 of them, I think, are Shrek-related. And this is a crossover, but it was also the first thing that truly grabbed my attention. I'm not going to reveal what the crossover is, though, because that kind of gives up the goat. And the actual story doesn't tell you what's going on until the last paragraph. And you might think by the username it was Harry Potter is the cross. It is not. So put that straight out of your mind right away. So in the story, Shrek is at home, and then there's this quote, which everything was as it should be, yet something was off. Well, you're really kind of... You're trying
one or the other, though, isn't it?
You're trying to have your cake and also eat it there, right? Like,
yeah.
You gotta pick one or the other. Either everything was as it should be, or something was off.
Right.
Jerked off? Is there something? Damn it.
There's a joke somewhere, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is, though.
Oh, shit. What we're drinking this week? You're drinking Coke because you're boring.
I'm drinking Coke because my head hurts.
I'm drinking...
All right? And I didn't have any coffee because my tiny human decided that it was a good idea to get up at 6:30 in the morning, and I didn't have anything ready to go.
You're drinking Coke because you're boring. I'm drinking John B. Stetson bourbon whiskey, which I picked up at the State Store the other week.
That is the stuff that Chris got, too.
This is?
Yeah. It's the same brand, yeah.
Oh, because I've never seen it until this week.
Yeah, well, he got it for me last
week
weekend when I wanted to make mint juleps and we didn't have any bourbon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was on sale. I don't really like it all that much.
I feel like mine has a darker label than that, though. I don't know. I'll have to look into it closer when I get home.
I feel it's too smoky. It's almost like Scotchish.
I liked it.
I don't hate it.
I mean, I still like Trace better, but I like it. This has been Whiskey Cast.
Anyway, no, it has not. So everything was as it should be, yet something was off. So Shrek starts feeling things touching him.
Literally?
And he, okay. But he can't, but he can't see them.
Okay.
And he hears a deep, manly voice, which, quote, could never be bellowed by a woman. But he can't see anything. Go ahead, bellow. No. Bellow your deepest, manliest voice right now.
What do you want me to bellow?
Shrek, I need your dick.
You're really going to make me bellow that?
Yep. You offered.
I didn't. I never offered.
You said, what do you need me to say? Or what do you want me to say?
No, but I mean before that. Bellowing my deepest, manliest bellow?
Yeah.
It couldn't be bellowed by a female voice.
Right, so I want to see how close you can get.
Okay.
And see if this is
what am I saying
sexism.
Again?
Shrek, I need your dick.
Right. Shrek, I need your dick. How was that? No?
That definitely could have been bellowed by a woman. I'll give you points for attempting, though. I don't know that I call that a bellow either.
No, I don't.
That was more of a sultry growl.
Was it? I think I need to be, outside to bellow. I feel weird bellowing in the house.
Yeah, bellowing in the house would be a good name for an album. Anyway, so he hears all this, and he feels things touching him, but he can't see anything. And then the invisible hands start tearing off his clothes. Those very same hands dragged downwards towards his trousers. He felt tearing fabric, heard ripping thread, yet heard nothing.
Wait. He heard ripping thread, but he heard nothing? Okay.
I'm not...
I know.
I didn't write
it. I know. Right. I know.
Those hands slid up his leg, reaching for something, grasping for the engorged mass of his hardened penis. So he's so frightened...
Penis?
That's what you take issue with.
Yeah.
They chose to use penis. Okay. I'm taking issue with the fact that he's scared shitless. He doesn't know what's going on, and for some reason that gets him rock hard.
Well, I mean, some people, that's fight or flight, or have sex.
Fight, flight, or fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard it described that way. I always thought that was a joke, though.
No, maybe it ain't.
I mean, that personally has never happened to me, I don't think. But then again, I'm not an ogre, technically.
best.
If you just saw me in the street, you'd think that maybe I was like half ogre.
A quarter at best.
Yeah. Shrek now knew what this entity wanted, and he felt himself freeze. This did not happen to him. He did this to others. He was the one who went to unsuspecting victims and shagged them into oblivion. He was the one who preyed upon the innocent and took away all that made them pure. So,
whoa!
As someone who's seen the films, is it canonical that Shrek is a rapist?
No!
Or, okay, see, I thought that was weird.
I mean, he, in the very beginning of the first movie, he, was frightening people, but
not raping them?
No, I mean, not that I saw in the movie, maybe in the uncut video, I mean... This isn't Shrek, a XXX parody? Mostly, I think his whole deal is that he just wants to be left alone, you know?
Okay, because that's not what this author is trying to put across.
Yeah.
He's trying to put across that this is like a revenge molesting for all of the molesting and raping that Shrek has done.
So a ghost is getting...
Ghost
is getting revenge?
Definitely what it seems like, yeah. So, at this point, Shrek loses his shit, he rages, and he runs around, and he ruins his own house, and he knocks things over, and he flips over tables, and all this kind of shit. And then he exhausts himself doing this, and he collapses on the bed.
So, oh god, there's creepy ghost hands touching me. I think I'm gonna flip all
bust
my
up my
tables.
own fucking house. Yeah, you don't remember when the Ghostbusters did that?
I would leave. I think would be my first instinct, but what do I know?
But so he collapses on his bed.
Of course he does.
Before he could begin to drift into sleep, he felt something weighing down his mattress. His invisible house guest had returned and was once again tugging at his length. It had become flaccid in his rage. So, scared, hard, rage, soft.
Okay.
Just keep that, if you're ever in a situation where that would come in handy for whatever reason.
Okay.
When you're taking your GED test or whatever, and that's one of the...
Your civil service test.
That's one... That's one of the not allegories. What the fuck they call these things? With the colon.
Yeah.
Word, colon, word, double colon, word, colon, word. Analogies?
Is it analogies?
Anyway, it's one of those things. Flaccid is to rage as rock hard erection is to fear. Fear,
right. Okay. It's an analogy. I don't know.
But now, he was growing harder at the being's ministrations. He elicited a moan as he... I don't think he elicited
No, I don't think he did.
He elicited a moan as he was brought, with each strong tug, closer to the edge of a great orgasm. I mean, that doesn't sound like that great of an orgasm. It's only been... it's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You were just flaccid.
Right.
It's 3 or 4 tugs, and you're already on the verge of a great orgasm?
Well, I mean, maybe it's that great. That it only took...
The tugs are just that great?
The best.
I mean,
imagine the best tugs you ever had.
I see that, and this is exactly the point that I was about to make. As the owner of a penis, I've had some tugs. None of them are all that great. I mean, they're good.
Right.
But, comparatively...
Right.
It's definitely hard to... it'd be really hard to give a tug more than, a 7.5. Anyway... When he felt himself almost go over the side, which is kind of a funny way to...
edge, but alright. Over the edge, I get. Over the side, it's just I fell off my stool.
Right. The ministration stopped. He was flipped onto his front, and the being spanked his muscular buttocks.
Oh, God.
The voice returned and screamed inside him.
Well, I know...
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Like a trumpet or like a bullhorn.
And since this isn't a cartoon, you can see the sound bubble moving its way up through the... Right, yes, that's exactly what I...
Oh god, I love it. See, none of my stories actually have Shrek having sex. I didn't realize how troubling this was going to be mentally for me.
Really? None of your stories?
No,
What the fuck? Okay, we'll find out. The voice returned and screamed inside him, and there's no quotation marks here, but we're going to assume, "You have been naughty. You need to be punished for your crimes. You have raped, pillaged, and destroyed. You have taken that which does not belong to you, and now you will pay for your crimes."
I'm Googling, is Shrek a rapist?
No, don't. It's going to... Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not.
The entity moved over the ogre and bent towards his ear. The voice, even though it was still all around, seemed quieter as it next spoke, again, no quotation marks here, "Bite the pillow, I'm going in dry." Shrek was not prepared for what ensued. The entity rammed inside Shrek's anus with all the...
Penis and anus.
With all the force of a great typhoon. Now, I've given this author a lot of shit so far for word choices. I think that's actually a pretty solid one.
Yeah,
Typhoon has a lot of force behind it.
I'll take it.
That's what Shrek said.
No, he isn't.
Shrek cried out. In hindsight, he weighed... Sorry, no, that was me. Shrek cried out. In hindsight, he wished he had, in fact, bitten the pillow. There's a lot of commas in there. The pain that amassed in his lower regions was astronomical. Considering Shrek was more of a giver than a receiver, this was to be expected. Was any of this to be expected, truly? What he had not been expected, was the speed in which the entity pounded into him. This is another one of those stories where the more I read it, the more I wonder if this is an English as a second language author.
I think you're just giving people too much credit.
It's very possible. Speed in which the entity pounded into him. He was as swift as a coursing river.
Wow.
And this rapid thrusting was once again bringing Shrek to the edge. So, again, we've already got the "my body is betraying me" thing going on here.
That's quick.
Yeah, real quick, right?
Especially going in dry,
Right, he goes from flaccid, 3 tugs, he's almost there. He gets turned over, goes in dry, 3 pushes, almost there.
This didn't even use... Well, this ghost didn't even use, spit or anything. Just completely dry.
Yeah, it's not even ghost spit or mechanical spit, like we talked about during the humiliation episode.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, during the Transformers episode also probably came up.
Yeah, wow, we have a lot of fake spit recently. That's cool, I guess. This is my life, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 32 years old and I have a baby.
The pain had been abated slightly to be replaced with wave upon wave of pleasure. He could feel fluids leaking onto his sheets, presumably the stirrings of semen, but more likely it was blood from the tears in his anus. I read it as tears in his anus.
His anus is crying tears of blood.
I mean, you could...
It's accurate.
If that's what you would rather view it as, sure. Then blood from the tears in his anus, caused by the massive cock filling his most private orifice.
So I'm going to teach my child to call it my most private orifice. None of those cutesy terms.
All the other orifices are okay. Just don't let anyone near this one. The fact that Shrek was being fucked senselessly was surprisingly a turn-on. I mean,
senselessly? Is that the word they're looking? Or, senseless?
Right, that was my question. Because it's not senselessly. The sense was laid out very plainly.
Yeah.
It's this is a revenge fuck.
This is why this is happening.
Right, exactly. He thought back to his previous consorts, teenagers and adults who desperately worshipped him, wizards and witches who bowed down to his power, his own wife, whom he had murdered after discovering that he had a daughter who was much better in bed. That very same daughter who had taken too much of him at once and exploded with the force of his thrusts. Gotta ask you again, canonical?
Maybe that was in 3 or 4. I think I only saw 1 and 2, so maybe. That's alarming.
These conquests had given him a... Well, I guess I now see why this entity is so upset with him, I guess.
Do too. I mean, I must have missed those
episodes. I don't know that rape is the right way to deal with those feelings. These conquests had given him a spark of life, one that could not be bested until now. This entity was fucking him harder than he had ever fucked another person before, and Shrek, the mighty predator, was being taken down by a creature with all the strength of a raging fire, and Shrek was loving it. The once mighty ogre finally reached orgasm, and at the same time, the creature followed him over the edge. See, that time they did it right.
Followed him off the side.
Green semen squirted all over the bed beneath them. Canonical?
Again, I missed that scene, I guess.
And a whiter semen landed on Shrek's back. The entity pulled out for the last time, and Shrek rolled over to finally look into his reveler's eyes. I don't think that's the right word to use. And also, he's still not visible, I don't think.
Did Did, finishing make this ghost visible?
Well, okay.
Okay.
I can see you, Shrek said simply. That did have quotation marks around it for some reason. And the creature, which appeared to be human, laughed. You can't see me, he replied, and with that he disappeared for the final time. Shrek didn't even know his name. This man who had defeated Shrek, who had treated him the way he had treated others, and left, and hadn't even told him who he was. This man was a riddle, wrapped in an enigma, shrouded in mystery. And boy, was he mysterious. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Last paragraph, where all will be revealed. Before he could even begin to reflect on the series of magnanimous events, I don't think that's the right word there either.
What?
Momentous,
this author needs to fix their thesaurus.
That's why I think maybe ESL. I do think that a lot, though, now that you mention it. I do bring that up pretty often.
Yeah, you do. I think you're just giving... Let me tell you a quick story. I still have the Post-its because I saved them from my old job. There was someone in another office...
Star stuffing?
Yes. That used to send me notes all the time when I would send a child support down. No, when I would send a child support down and they would think that they didn't have it in their office, which they were wrong. Regardless, send me notes back. I can't find this person. F-I-N-E. Repeatedly. I can't find this person.
Now
Repeatedly. It wasn't one miswriting.
Are you sure they weren't just huge fans of Watch the Throne by Jay-Z and Kanye West? Because that is a play on words that
Positive.
They use. Okay, damn.
So, I think you're giving people... I don't think most people know what words mean.
Okay.
That's just a brief example.
So they just learned... They saw magnanimous in their page-a-day calendar.
Right. It seemed
like
a good big word.
Oh,
yeah.
I know what that means. They didn't even bother looking at the rest of the page.
Right.
Okay. Before he could even begin to reflect on this series of magnanimous events, the sound of music reached his oddly shaped ears. It sounded like The Time Is Now, and a name... That's it's capitalized. That's the name of a song, apparently. And a name floated in from his memory. John Cena, the greatest wrestler in the history of WWE. No one could defeat him, not even the greatest fighting machine in the world, Shrek. That's the end. So what caught my eye was John Cena / Shrek in the listing, but then they don't bring it up till the very end. So I was hoping for some more interplay between their characters.
Right.
So
I think there was quite a lot of interplay.
But you don't even know that it's John Cena for most of it. There was no talk about
I was
jorts.
just picturing...
I figured that there would be some jorts on tunic rubbing or something. That's what Shrek wears, right? He wears a tunic, I think. And no pants?
No,
or does he wear
pants? He
does wear pants?
Brown pants, I think? It's been a while.
But yeah, so that was unexpected.
Wow.
Or it would have been if the intro that listed the relationship hadn't ruined it for me. But for you, I hope it was unexpected.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for some jort references or something. But in this scene is just an invisible fuck machine with no real defining characteristics, like jorts. So I enjoyed some of the word choices, both sincerely and ironically. But overall, I was left disappointed by this because I really wanted... when you see John Cena / Shrek, just so many possibilities run through your, is Shrek part of professional wrestling? Do they just start fucking in the ring? Or is it a backstage, they had a really good match or whatever.
Right.
They've been rivals forever
Right.
and they're all up in each other's faces and then all of a sudden it just boils over and they just start making out so hard or whatever.
Right.
Or, is John Cena part of an interdimensional, welcoming party that goes around to we are the best peoples of Earth Prime and we're here to welcome, you know what I mean? But it was none of that. He was just a revenge rape ghost.
Yeah, revenge rape ghost.
Which I don't know, it seems weird. And so you're telling me that to your knowledge none of that stuff about Shrek killing his wife or raping his daughter or any of that, none of that's real.
Not that I'm aware of.
Real.
No, not canon.
Not canonical. Okay. Well, then I'm even more disappointed. But, I guess... Now, I was going to say... Now, my first thought at reading this, because this was one of the first stories in this fandom that I read all the way through when I was researching this. I was like, what a weird thing. It turns out, in the grand scheme of things, this really isn't all that weird in the Shrek fanfiction arena. But we'll touch on some more of that later, I think. But you said that Shrek doesn't actually have sex in any of your stories.
No,
I'm very curious what's going on here.
In any of my stories.
Okay, I can't wait.
I can, no. Okay, so I think this one is what I'm going to start with. This one is on fanfiction.net, and it is called Lose Control by Prycat? I don't know.
Not pre, like...
No, not that kind of pre. It's PRI.
Damn.
Sorry. Now, this one, the title, Lose Control, and the description was, Fiona's worried for her husband because he's gaining more weight and wants to put him on a diet, but Shrek's not happy. Can Fiona and the others help him lose weight before things get worse? Now, I thought this was going to be like a weight gain, like, sexy story. Mm-hmm. I was mistaken. And confused.
It's just a real heartfelt, raw look into the world.
Basically, yeah.
So Fiona is his wife.
Yeah.
She's also an ogre.
Yes.
Right? At one point, aren't they humans or something?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a lot of back and forth,
okay.
But yeah. But so she feels like he's, getting too fat, and it's not that she's not attracted to him; it's that she's worried about his health. So, let me just...
Simpsons did it.
Well, this was written in 2007.
Yeah, The Simpsons did it way before that.
I don't know.
That was like a 1996 episode or whatever.
But,
the one where Homer purposefully gets to be 300 pounds so he can get put on disability. Which, by the way, I thought was a real thing for a long time. When I came to become 300 pounds, turned out that's not the case. It doesn't work that way. You don't just get free money and get to work from home because you weigh 300 pounds.
I think you have to be, like, physically unable to leave the house.
If that was the case, I would still weigh 300 pounds.
But I'm pretty sure that I was told that if you were ever unable to get out of the house, that we were supposed to kill you, so...
Did I say that?
Yeah, you totally did.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
It was a long time ago, though. Clearly, you're perfectly capable to leave the house.
It's just that I don't want to.
Right. That's a totally different problem altogether.
Right.
It's not that we have to take you out on a cart. Fiona was very worried by her husband. He looked like he'd been doing some active things, but he was gaining more weight. She got a little nervous at dinner as he had 2 helpings of worm pie for dessert. Honey, haven't we talked about your sweet tooth? She said to him. Shrek looked at her weirdly. Honey, I'm fine the way I am. Besides, if I lose weight, you wouldn't love me the way I am or become that when I lose weight. There was a look in his eyes of worry and desperation. Fiona then looked at Donkey for help. She's right, man. Maybe you should lose some weight. She just doesn't want to see you in agony for the choice you make about this, he told him.
The choice you make about this. Does the donkey live with them?
Yeah, I guess so.
Canonically, I'm asking, not necessarily in the story. Because in the story, it seems he does, I guess. Or at least eats dinner with them communally.
Yeah, I think he lives... I'm not sure. It's been a really long time,
okay.
Alright? He watched as his friend scoffed down the pie. Fiona sighed as she cleared away the plates.
Wait, scoffed down the pie?
Yeah. I was hoping
Push
to catch that. Yeah. Fiona sighed as she cleared away the plates. She watched them as they went outside to play a manly game of soccer.
The most manly game there is.
Fiona laughed at that thought as she started washing the dishes. She watched them play with passionate bursts of energy. She then went and practiced karate for a while, thoughts running through her mind as she did this. She didn't want to see her true love hurt or in agony. She knew he needed to go on a diet, but she didn't want to force him into it unless she had to. So, Puss in Boots shows up, and she's like, maybe you can talk to him. I don't want him getting sick or worse, like obese mortals.
Mortally obese.
So, they come back in the house, and Shrek goes into the bedroom, and she follows him. And she watches him, and he takes something out of the closet, and he's got, like, a Ziploc bag with candy bars in it, and he eats one. I'd better hide this before they find it, he thought, as he went out of the bedroom. But he noticed Puss and Donkey staring at him. What's wrong? Have I got a zit on my face or something? He asked them. You've got chocolate on your chin. I knew you were hiding something in that bag. You'd better get rid of it before Fiona sees and freaks, Puss said to him. He and Donkey watched their amigo took care of it by wiping it with his sleeve. That's better, he thought, as Fiona entered the room. Donkey saw the sadness in her eyes. They watched as she sat outside. What's up with her, he asks. This is all one paragraph, by the way. There's no...
I was about to ask who he was, but I guess you don't really know.
I
I guess you can context clues.
I mean, it's one of those dudes. What's up with her, he asked as he joined her. She was silently sobbing. She knew her husband needed help, but he didn't admit it, and seeing him eat that candy bar proved it. I'm sorry I'm in an unhappy mood. I'm just worried about Shrek. I saw him eating a candy bar, and it was a cry for help, she told him silently.
I had so many cries for help in my lifetime.
I just had one while we were waiting for this podcast to get set up. When he was eating it, I saw sadness in his eyes like it was his only choice. He's probably doing it to stick to the status quo or to keep his reputation. But I've got to help him even if he doesn't want it, she told him. Again, I'm still not sure who she's talking to. It's not Shrek.
Right. At first I thought it was Shrek, but clearly it's not. Unless she's doing some weird passive-aggressive dissociative thing where she's talking to him like it's not him.
Right.
But I don't think that's what they're trying to get across.
So then he's having terrible stomach pain. And he's clutching his stomach in agony. Why is it hurting like this? I haven't done anything that could upset it. Maybe Fee was right, but if I did go on a diet, it would mean me changing, and I promised her I never would, he thought to himself. So his whole hang-up is that he promised he would never change, and so if he goes on a diet, she won't love him anymore. So his only choice is to eat candy bars?
Strained logic, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be dumb, right? Like, that's the thing a dumb person might think.
I mean, I don't think he's supposed to be that dumb. Donkey's way dumber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's just racist.
What?
Because Donkey is Eddie Murphy.
I didn't write the movie, okay. That dude's dumb, though. The donkey, I mean.
Yeah, okay.
So she comes in, and he's, like, in pain, and she's like, you really have to stop this. And he was
Wait,
like...
did she poison him or something?
No.
Oh, damn.
And she's like...
Because that'd be a pretty good way to go about it, probably.
I can't let you do this to yourself or get a little something called diabetes, and if you don't take care of that, you could die, and that's something I also don't want to happen to you. So she fell asleep, and he leaves a note and leaves because he needs some time to think. And he goes to his cousin's house, who is presumably,
mortally obese.
is named Snoger.
Oh, wow.
And the place was filled with every kind of food except for fruits and vegetables or healthy food because he wasn't a big fan of this stuff. So, they chow down on a whole bunch of unhealthy food, and Shrek keeps getting more and more pain. And so, he, like, collapses in pain and hits his head on the floor, and Snoger gets upset and calls Ogrecus, who flies down on some sort of weird, like...
Ogre what?
Space pod Ogrecus. It's Ogrecus.
Is that something? Is that a...
Apparently this person has written other stories about this character.
Oh.
But is it something, or is it something this person created?
I think it's just something this person created.
Okay, gotcha.
But so, like, basically, this person this Ogrecus guy comes down and, you know, takes him to the hospital, and they're gonna get him help or something. So Fiona's really upset.
Help for his tummy ache.
Well, help for his problem, I guess.
Oh, for his overeating problem.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Fiona's upset, and they go to visit him in the hospital, and she goes home and eats his candy bars.
She doesn't.
And then she goes into the bathroom and throws up, and Puss in Boots sees her and is like, you know, you can't take your food out. You can't eat your feelings, and you can't just, you know, eat because you're so upset. Your feelings. Yeah. But, and then that's the end. So there's, like, no resolution.
So does this say complete?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, it was written in February of 2007, so I don't think we're ever gonna... know what happened.
Right, so my first reaction is to feel kind of bad for laughing at this.
Yes.
My thought is that this was written by somebody who's really going through some real shit, or had already gone through some real shit.
Or just is trying to... Well, I mean, a lot of this person's other... Well, not a lot, but the one I clicked on, at least, to see who this Ogrecus guy was.
Right.
Like, the other story also was about making healthy food choices. So, like, I don't really understand.
So maybe you were just workshopping something that he was trying to shop around to, like, schools.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, something. Yes, that's where I was... This person has apparently got 1,139 stories.
Holy
on fanfiction.net. The most recent one looks like it was... Oh, wow, really, really recent. May 5th. Oh, May 13th. Wow. So this person's still writing.
As of... Is that today? Or no, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so... but those aren't Shrek stories. Those are the Muppets.
Oh.
Which, I mean, let's not even tackle that
might
right
have
now.
to deal with their cancellation. Maybe they're all getting depressed
and
about getting canceled, and they're eating way too much to deal with it. But they have to eat healthier food. Right. They're overeating to deal with their pain of being canceled.
Right. So, I'm bewildered, and it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was too fascinating to not use, because I was expecting, like, a weight gain story, and instead I got this weird, preachy...
Right. Huh.
You need to eat more vegetables, and it's like they were seeing into my soul. Because I live on baked goods and candy bars, and so far I have not got a little thing called diabetes.
You're Snoger.
Yeah, I
Your house is filled with every kind of food that isn't healthy food.
I did just buy a couple vegetables because I need to make baby food, but they're not for me, they're for that baby.
Well, you can say that, but it was actually because you thought about how much your life was reflecting
You're
Snoger's.
right, I could have been influenced.
Yeah.
We did get some sugar peas to eat for us, so, I mean, I did say to Chris we need to eat more vegetables, so I guess it worked, pre-cat.
There you go.
Good
On the other hand, I walked out of the farmer's market today with 2 steaks, a tub of garlic butter, and 2 more tubs filled with olive brine left over from their olives that they were selling for 35 cents a piece to use in my dirty martinis, which is a great price. Holy shit, is that a great price.
I walked out with a bunch of vegetables, some beef cubes, a loaf of farmer's market bread, which I'm probably just going to, like, eat with my hands and, like, dipped in butter.
You should try that garlic butter. It's really pretty good.
A blueberry crumb cake, which I didn't even know was a thing, but I cannot wait to eat. Some flavored coffee, lunch meat, all the good, healthy stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the farmer's market, man.
America.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my first one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I would have...
but again, no Shrek sex.
Expected either. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing but Shrek sex.
I was a little disappointed, honestly. I really wanted it to be a weight gain story, but it wasn't.
Yeah, we haven't had very many of those. Maybe that should be one of our
that's what I was just going to say. Because I think that's really a fascinating, like...
Yeah, I think that feeder stories are really...
Yeah, the only one that was even close I can think of is that Avenged Sevenfold, I think it was, one that where he was making him eat all those sandwiches.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we just bounced from Shrek sex to Shrek after school special no sex. We're gonna go back to Shrek sex.
Yay.
Now this, I feel kind of gross picking this, and not in the way that not because it's like sex or whatever, but at the same time, this is going to feel pandery, and this whole thing is way too on the nose, but it was too weird to not. So,
I think I know which one it is.
So this story is called Make America Green Again. It's by SD52994 on Archive of Our Own. That was made by the random username generator code that I wrote when I was a sophomore in college. So what you might have deduced just by the title, and hopefully we're dating ourselves pretty hard by doing this, because if we're not dating ourselves pretty hard by doing this, it means that his political career has extended well past the point that we're recording this, in which case...
Don't say things like that.
But, so here I'm going to bring up the thing that I alluded to a little bit earlier. Most Shrek fanfiction that I found was jokey joke, haha, look how funny I am. I'm a funny 4chan guy. fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff that I've read, like, for bonus episodes where, like, people are just misspelling things on purpose and it's just, like, the grossest, most disgusting stuff that you can think of.
Right.
On purpose. That's, like, what most of... So I think Shrek has just been... I think the Shrek fandom has been mostly taken over by, like... 4chan bros.
Right.
I think it's just a meme now, is like Shrek sex. I think it's just a thing that people do when they're bored.
I think you're right. That's why for my stories, I tried to go like back in the archives to like older stories, like too, before this would happen.
Pretty old. Like I was finding stuff from like 2008, 2009 that was like that. And this is much more recent, clearly. But it didn't, it was kind of like that, but it wasn't just like, Shrek put his dick in a hole in the ground and then it exploded. Like, what, you know what I mean?
Right.
So fuck it, was basically my thought process on picking this one. So Donald Trump gives a big speech, and then he goes backstage where he finds Shrek. And the sight is so shocking to him that he starts to pass out. But before he hits the ground, he's caught by his large green arms. Looks like your toupee, little Shrek breathed in his ear as he righted Donald's hair with a gentle touch that was unexpected of an ogre of his stature.
I'm already grossed out. There's two people that are like the least sexually appealing thing in the world.
And I think those kind of it's referenced many times. We'll get there. Trump had not had anyone touch him with a caress in years. They usually recoiled in fear. He shuddered. Well, this is from his point of view,
right,
so he probably
fair.
thinks that is the case.
Right.
He shuddered and felt a distinct hardness in his pants. It was a reality he didn't want to face. He was aroused, something that usually only happened with the aid of his hand, some lotion, and a picture of himself. He looked away from Shrek's eyes, anywhere, to avoid Shrek finding out. He looked up awestruck, even though apparently he was just... when he felt a hand grasp his erection through his pants. Shrek brought his full green lips close, so close to his, and whispered, "You need to get ogre your pride and come with me around back."
Nah.
So the other main thing about Shrek fanfic is it's all ogre puns. Like all of it. Trump looked around at the rally, denial on his lips, until he realized all his supporters had already left, hours ago. Damn Democratic hippies, he seethed. I'm not sure what that... Is he calling his own... I'm not sure what he's trying to get at there. Like, I get that this is supposed to be a political satire.
Right.
I think he missed the mark on it. I think that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
The hand on his bulge forgotten for a moment. Shrek squeezed, letting his fingers linger, and massaged Trump, bringing him back to proposal he had given. Trump shuddered, brought back to his arousal. He would never have a chance like this again. No one wanted to have sex with Donald Trump. It was now or never. Take me, Shrek. So he, as instructed, he goes around back to the alley behind the convention hall. I guess there's just an alley back there. And he waits for Shrek to follow him there. And he's like looking around at his environs, and he sees a dumpster, and he's like, well, there's no better place for this to happen than there. So he climbs in the dumpster, and he takes off all of his clothes, and he leans as seductively as he possibly can back upon a pile of trash.
I mean, I can't think of a better place for a pile of human garbage to go.
You and this author should go get coffee sometime.
Apparently we should.
So Shrek shows up and he's like, he says some words. And then they start doing
says some words.
Yeah, like about how the garbage was a nice touch or something. I don't remember exactly.
Gotcha.
I don't have it written down here. Trump reached behind Shrek and grabbed a hold of his southern cheeks. That was one that we didn't run into in that Gilmore Girls story, but it really should have been in there.
They used every other word.
Except southern cheeks. Feeling them in his hands. His ogre's butt was saggy like the skin of a rotten banana.
Oh, God!
And his fingers continuously found pockets of skin the size of craters. Trump had never been more aroused and more insecure. He was but a dried-up potato in comparison to his lover. As if sensing his lover's feelings, Shrek grasped Trump's face. There's no apostrophes in any of this, so it's kind of hard to process. And looking at him again with that piercing gaze he had. What's going through your wee mind? Trump was unsure if he should share what he was feeling with Shrek, but the more he looked into his eyes, the more he realized it would be okay to tell him the truth. You're spelled incorrectly, just so beautiful, Shrek. Compared to you and pretty much anyone else, I look like a bag of trash that's been left out for 10 years in 90-degree weather. Trump's eyes got a little misty as he finished, so he turned away from Shrek's gaze again. Shrek...
Oh, come on.
Shrek, sorry, I'm trying to hold it together. Shrek quickly brought Donald's eyes back to his and gave him a comforting... holding them by their optical nerve, and gave him a comforting smile. Hey now, you're an all-star.
No! Get out of my house! Oh!
Those words
That's
were
gross.
Those words... Hold on. Those words were all it took for Trump's self-lubricating asshole to get wet. He thanked
Is he an elf?
That would be a funny thing to come out during the election.
Yes.
He had elf blood.
I want to see his birth certificate.
His elf heritage, right. His Lothlorien birth certificate. He thanked the Lord White Jesus that all Republicans had self-lubricating assholes.
So all Republicans are elves?
It sure did come in handy for moments like this, and when he was talking out his ass. This guy really...
Again, fake spit!
Pulling no punches is this guy. Trump was confident
This is
now.
this person's only story, by the way. I just looked it up.
Oh, is it? It was probably done. He's probably written a whole bunch of other stuff, but he made this account specifically for this one so he didn't get bombarded by Trump hate on his real account. Or Trump, anti-Trump hate, I guess. Yeah. Trump was confident now that his lover didn't mind his obvious and bountiful shortcomings. If Shrek could look past his heinous political views, he could surely look past the fact that he looked like the spawn of a bridge troll and a hobgoblin. It is now time to commence the fucking. Which, that should be a line in every story that we read.
I agree.
Shrek, take me now before I take your swamp and make another Trump tower. Shrek looked bewildered for a moment and then shook it off with a laugh. Of course I will. Also, be warned, me friend Donkey gave me some tips. With that, Shrek readied himself at Trump's entrance. Trump braced himself. Shrek was truly large and in charge, but he knew he could handle this ogre's package. His asshole was strong. It had to be with all the shit he was full of.
Wow.
Again, this is like a fucking MSNBC editorial.
Yikes.
Shrek pushed in with a groan of pleasure and pulled out, pushing back in again with force this time. I don't know what he had the first time. He just slid.
Kind of fell in.
Yeah, exactly. They let gravity do the work. He continued to rock back and forth, letting his big old pickle hit Trump's prostate and grunting something about onions under his breath. Trump lost himself in the pressure and pleasure. He rolled his head back and began screaming like a donkey. This was too much, far too much. He tried to meet Shrek's eyes, but he couldn't. He was overcome, and he quickly reached his breaking point. Shrek was beginning to yell. He was reaching his climax, too. With a final thrust, he splooged his onion-scented cum into Trump's orange cave.
Ew!
That was enough. Trump couldn't hold back anymore. He finally came, a cloud of dust puffing out of his rarely used cock. He was sated for about 30 years now. He laid back as Shrek rolled over and immediately fell asleep. Trump rolled his eyes and flicked one of the ogre's ears affectionately. His eyes were getting heavy, and Shrek's onion-scented jizz was starting to make him a bit woozy. He was just about to give himself over to rest and nuzzle amongst his kind, the trash, when he saw a large shadow pass overhead. He jolted up, trying to get a closer look, when suddenly he saw a shape dart down towards him alarmingly fast. He threw up his arms, a last-ditch effort of protection. It was fruitless, though. He felt pain shoot through his ribs and felt himself being pulled upwards. He had shut his eyes when he was attacked, but he had to know who had attacked him. He struggled to open his eyes. They felt as if they'd been shut with Trump brand cement, which I don't think that's something.
That's what you're going to take issue with in this whole story.
He pried them open and looked. He was being carried away by a giant eagle. He looked down to see if he could struggle free and saw just how high up he was. He promptly passed out. When he came to, his head felt as if it was filled with Trump brand cotton. Also don't think that's anything. And he felt a stifling, overwhelming heat. He looked down again, and this time he was met with an even more terrifying sight. They were flying over an active volcano. Trump struggled violently to get out of the eagle's grip and suddenly felt the talons loosen. He was falling fast. He started screaming as he plunged towards the lava, but it was too late. He straight up died. He truly felt the burn.
Wow.
That would have been a great place for a mic drop, but there's one more sentence. The eagle flew away proudly. She had saved not only America, but everyone. The end.
So was this, again, a Lord of the Rings, like,
that
eagle?
was my thought, that, yeah, so Shrek...
I'm gonna go ahead and make another callback to elves.
Right, so Shrek went through a wormhole to come into our reality and do this thing,
right.
which was all in concert with Middle-earth, who was sending a giant eagle. They were just lulling him into... to let down his guard to the point that an eagle could come through the Middle-earth portal,
and
pick him up, take him back through it to Mount Doom, drop him within Mount Doom.
Seems legit. They're just cleaning up their mess.
So, right, because they realized what they had unleashed upon Earth Prime.
Right.
So, that was more than a little try-hard, I think.
Yes. A little bit.
There were still some parts that I laughed at.
Yes, me too.
And I could tell you did too, also. But yeah, like I said, this is the main problem that I found with this fandom more than anyone we've done so far. Everyone is making...
It's all jokes.
Funny, look at how clever I am, Fic, rather than being sincere. And by sincere, I don't necessarily mean utterly, like, serious or, like, grimdark or anything. I just mean, like, doing it for the love
like,
of...
legitimately.
Shrek, I guess? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is disappointing, which is a thing that I never thought before doing this podcast that I would ever say, that people not taking their fan fiction seriously enough was something that and I'm not saying it to be funny, I legitimately find it disappointing.
I agree with you.
That this community has been completely overrun by these kind of people.
It's sad. It's a shame.
And I'm surprised at myself that I think that's a thing. Yeah, I mean, especially after that Transformers episode. Like, well, I don't know that I can ever be sad again after that Transformers episode. That brought me such pure unbridled joy. Like, those were people that were so into that shit and just did not give a fuck and loved it so much.
It was a beautiful thing.
It was awesome. Yeah. And then you get to this, and it's just like some guys are like, oh, Shrek's got a big dick, and he fucks his donkey. Like, you know.
Right. And you got to think about the people out there that are really legitimately into
and they're
Shrek
just crushed underneath this wave of
and
this
they're
shit.
like, oh boy, like more Shrek fanfics. But like, no, I'm sorry, guy who's into Shrek for reals.
Yeah, it's been ruined.
Yeah. What a disappoint.
By fucking 4chan jokesters. Anyway, I think you have another story for us.
I do have another story. This one is on Archive of Our Own, and it is called Lonely Egg by J.M. Torres, I think. And
is that his username? J.M. Torres, I think?
Yeah, no, it's not, but you know what I mean. This one is only 1,885 words, but I still don't think I'm going to read all of it because most of it's kind of boring. But
also, I just want to take a little aside. If you've been listening to our 17 and a half hour long epics, God bless you, but we're going to try to trim them down a little bit more.
I'm sorry.
Because I am a big fan of long podcasts, but I understand, like, that's really long for a podcast. But there's, like last week, for example, there was just so much good shit.
Yeah.
It was impossible to turn away.
Right.
This week, I think, is going to be on the shorter end. Just because
we're giving you a reprieve.
But I'm also trying to make more of a conscious effort to excise more stuff that isn't absolutely essential when I read word for word.
There's got to be something we can do about this, but we can talk about that off the air.
No, I think this is the proper place to do it. Go ahead.
Like, maybe split it into a couple episodes. But anyway, like, episode 4, part 3, so you can...
Maybe, I don't know.
But I think so much of it flows well together, like that, I don't know, but...
Like, I just think about how blessed I would feel if there were, like, 3.5 hours of, like, Bim Bam or, like, JJ Go or Comedy Bang Bang to listen to in any given week. Or, God forbid, one of my bi-weekly... Because we're bi-weekly, so, like, when you think about it, we're really giving you... Like, an hour 15, hour and a half per week. It's just all in one chunk, which really isn't that much more than. No. But I understand that you can see that file size staring down at you and just be like, ooh, or whatever. So,
so this one is about Puss in Boots and Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, okay. I forgot that was a character.
Who?
Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, yeah.
Not Puss in Boots. He had his own movie.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a Humpty Dumpty movie
either.
That was Antonio Banderas.
So, here we go. Puss, as a kitten, hadn't been very discriminating about who he'd rubbed himself all over.
Ew.
Though Humpty had always been a favorite. And Imelda's shoes. I'm not sure who that is.
Imelda?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be Esmeralda?
No.
It's supposed to be Imelda.
Yeah.
Okay.
He hadn't been much for people beyond Humpty, if you could count Humpty as a person.
Say, he's not a people.
Which he was never sure he could. And Imelda, but Imelda was his mama, and therefore Puss's desire to curl up on her bosom was not something to be jealous about, Humpty always told himself. Imelda was mama for Puss. Humpty.
Right, Humpty
is jealous.
Is telling himself not to be jealous that Puss lies on her tits.
Yes.
Okay.
He's, I think, in love with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm just trying to get that all straight.
Imelda was mama for Puss, provider of milk and snuggles, and Humpty was brother as soon as Puss started bothering with words.
When they say provider of milk...
I did not think that far into it.
Okay.
You want to hear a gross story?
Always am. Always do, I
I've
suppose.
always had this terror of undressing around my cats because I don't want them to, touch my nipples. Well, the other day I was feeding... No, wait, it's not as gross as you think. I was feeding my baby some cereal, and Heresy became... No, I used stuff from the fridge. Heresy became very interested in the process, and I spilled some of the cereal, which I make with breast milk, on the table, and she totally ate it, and I was super grossed out because... I don't know, it's just weird. But now, I told Chris and he was like, oh man, I bet she has a taste for it now. You better watch yourself. And I was like, oh god.
You're gonna need to wear like a breastplate about the house just so you're not...
cats are after me. But anyway. So, because I was always curious if they would even want anything to do with that milk. But apparently the answer is yes. Humpty wasn't a mammal. He wasn't even really an animal. Just something animals used to incubate their young. But whatever mysterious beast had laid him had left him behind instead of hatching. He'd happened. Bird egg, he'd always assumed.
Yeah, that's deep as hell.
Right?
Wow. That's some philosophical ass shit.
Though once Puss had said, lazy, or dragon, you look big enough to be a dragon egg, which had been exciting and scary because on one hand, dragon, but on the other hand, Humpty didn't like the idea of having something inside of him that might break out and live at his expense.
Can you say the lazy part again?
I think he said, Puss had said, comma, lazy, comma, and then the quote. So I think he meant lazily.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's even if that's what he meant, that's a weird place to put that word.
It is. I agree with you.
Okay.
So he goes on to talk about how Puss, when they started growing up, started being more daring and having sex with lady cats and stuff. Oh. And Humpty couldn't do any of these things because he might break. So he felt very left behind.
He also wanted to have sex with lady cats.
Apparently. So then he goes on to tell a story about the one time that Puss gets in trouble with some tomcats because he wouldn't leave the lady cat alone. And he'd come home scratched and stuff. And so Humpty decided to, wash him off. And Humpty almost managed something like sympathy as he dabbed the scratches with a wet cloth. And he was rewarded with Puss cleaning him in turn. Long scratchy licks over the curve of his shell. Hey now, Humpty said nervously when Puss knocked him over and rolled him to the side to lick as he pleased. Puss nudged up to his face. Close your eyes, he purred. He licked all over that weird malleable part of Humpty's shell, and Humpty squirmed and wrinkled his nose and pressed his lips closed as well as his eyelids. Puss...
Hold on.
Go ahead. I don't know what that means.
I'm guessing it's kind of a bit like an interface port. Like they're saying that he's got a part of him that's like...
Smushy? I don't...
Right,
I don't
penetratable or whatever? So the question that I really wanted to ask you was, Humpty, does he wear pants? Is there any part of his anatomy that is covered?
Hang on.
Generally. Because I'm curious if this could actually be imagined within the canonical world, or if they're making something up out of whole cloth here.
Oh, my God.
But so he does wear pants of a sort. He does wear pants,
yeah.
Or it might be under his hat.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, I've eaten a lot of eggs, and I don't notice any malleable bits on them, but what do I know?
Well, see, that was the thing. He was talking about how he was worried about being broken, and I was trying to figure out how sex was going to work with this egg. But if he's just got, a porous membrane that can be, then that makes a little more sense. If you can apply that word to anything that we've said over the last hour. Plus.
So he closed his eyes, and when Puss had moved on, half sitting on Humpty to reach the gentle point of his crown, Humpty asked, hesitant and hopeful, muffled by the pale fluff of Puss's belly, "Is this sex?" Puss rolled...
So that does make it sound like he's licking the top of his head.
Well, he moved on to his crown. He's not licking the malleable part anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Puss rolled off him, laughing. "You need to find some nice chick," he said. "Do I look like a chicken's egg to you?" Humpty grumbled, flopping onto his back.
Boo! Boo!
He could just barely touch the floor with his fingertips to balance himself. "Or a rooster," Puss suggested, snickering. "You like the cock? You gonna boo some more?"
No, that actually got a chuckle out of me.
Humpty groaned. He didn't say anything else because he didn't know what to say to that, and Puss for once didn't push.
Puss for once didn't puss.
Puss curled around him like a big fuzzy incubator, snuggling up like he hadn't since he was a kitten. So they go on with their life, and he continues to be jealous and feel left out. And
so that's it? There was just some medium petting, and then...
I'm not finished yet.
He said they went on with their life.
After that, yeah.
So Puss was just like, all right, I'm done. And just like, oh, wow, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Something which is very vague happens, and Humpty gets broken. I'm going to read this paragraph because I was very bewildered.
Okay.
All right? A great many things happened after that, after they're growing up. You have probably heard this story, as Puss tells it, that Humpty came back from out of nowhere and lured him, fulfilling their childhood quest for the golden eggs and betraying him utterly, and then managed to find redemption in self-sacrifice, saving Puss and the little gosling and San Ricardo. Puss is more forgiving than Humpty, for when Humpty left Puss behind on the bridge then, Puss felt not only selfish sorrow, but also great belief in the soul of his dearest friend. When the mama goose carried, brushed the shards of Humpty's shell away and carried off his golden interior, Puss did not feel left behind. He felt hope. What?
So
none of those words make sense together.
My guess is that's something that happened during one of the films that you haven't seen. Probably the one about Puss, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Right? Does that...
Sure.
Contextually?
I guess so. I'm gonna have to see if this movie's on Netflix or something. Just like... maybe I'll just mainline Shrek tonight.
Just
after Kelly, I'll go
just
to bed.
ask those people who got bleeped out of the podcast earlier. I hope.
God.
For their sake.
Come on.
So is that the end of the story? Or
No,
is that...
I'm not finished.
Okay.
So that happens, and then...
So they've carried away his goo.
Yeah.
He's broken.
I think the word you're looking for is yolk, but yeah.
Well, they said
his golden interior.
Okay. Sure.
Which sounds really dirty.
His goo is something else. I'm sure. Even dirtier somehow.
So, that is not to say he was not very surprised when, some months later, a certain gosling came out of the clouds and landed on him with an undignified honk. At first he thought it was the gosling they had kidnapped and immediately started worrying about how to get it back to its very scary mother. But the gosling said, "It's me, Puss. It's me. I hatched. Isn't that crazy?" I'm okay, Humpty said. "I don't have hands, which is kind of annoying," he added, flapping his wings. "It's hard to do some of my experiments this way, but hey, I can fly without having to invent anything now. I'm still me. I mean, when you shed, you don't feel like you've lost your identity because all that fur's gone, right? Same thing. It turned out this was me on the inside all along."
So, we're to understand, the mother goose, egg broke, mother goose scoops up egg goo,
Yeah.
takes it away, and somehow incubates it into a gosling.
Yeah. Yes.
Does it mention his jacket?
No. It does not.
Okay, that was a bad joke that
Okay.
no one got,
Nope.
apparently. Okay. It's okay. If you got that joke, write into me. I'll PayPal you $2.
Wow, you would just really like to give away money.
All this money is a wank. I get it selling fake booby zombie cards
I know.
to people on eBay.
I know. So he says that he's gonna go ask some dude a question about how this happened, but the dude's in jail, so it's gonna be a quest. And he says...
I'm sorry, what dude's in jail?
The dude who can answer the question about why he was trapped in an egg all this time anyway.
Oh.
Look.
Okay, alright. No, I'm not questioning you directly. I'm just trying to make sense of this in my own brain, that's all.
So Puss says that he'll go along, and Humpty says... Because I don't want to be alone, Humpty said. This was the important part he'd never managed to say, and he'd lost Puss so many times, sometimes it had even been his own fault. So he had to say it now. I want you to come with me, or I'll go with you, wherever, even after we find out why I was a talking egg for so long, and why I had to get broken for the curse to break. Even after we don't have a quest, or not a quest, a polite question to seek out the answer to anymore. Whatever. I still want to, Puss. I love you, Humpty said, anxious and fervent. You are a very silly goose, Puss said. I'm a gander, thank you.
Boo.
Then you are a very silly gander. And if you can also manage to be a good egg, I don't see why we should ever be parted again.
Boo.
And that is almost all of the story, except for the part some days later when Humpty, with Puss's help, finally managed to work out sex. And Puss... who had never been a bird chaser before, was, shall we say, bewildered by what he found under Humpty's tail feathers. It seemed disproportionately long and oddly corkscrewy. What is that? Puss yelped as it burst forth. Goose dick, Humpty said smugly. It only seemed just that after so many years of frustration, he should be gifted so handsomely.
Goose dick.
So... there you go. It was mostly pretty boring, but it ended with that, so I enjoyed it.
So it really leaves open the question whether they're just going to be like cuddle bros now, and they're each going to have sex with their respective species, I suppose.
Right.
Or if this is going to be more than a best friends on a quest who lick each other sometimes kind of thing. What do you think? Where would you cast your lot?
I think that they're probably doing it.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
I don't want to hear about it. That's just my guess, based upon this story alone.
Mm-hmm. I would say based upon your worldview.
Oh my god.
Entirely. So that's a goose dick. I really like that's a pretty good answer to anything. Whenever anybody says what is that, I think goose dick is a pretty good. I guess I didn't know that geese dicks were corkscrewy. I knew that duck dicks were.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it. I mean, they're kind of the same thing, right?
So are geese also rapists then? Because I know ducks are a hell of rapists.
Yeah, I know they are too.
Which is so, like, I love looking at a duck. Like, a duck is one of, like, my top 5 looking at animals. But, like,
really?
I really like ducks.
You are in luck. There are a lot of ducks around.
Yeah, I know, right? But I feel bad because I know that they're fucking assholes all of the time to, like, everybody. At least that is a lady duck.
Right.
And I know that those lady ducks are probably all traumatized survivors, I guess. Right?
Right.
That's a... man.
So, I mean, you should look at the strong lady ducks and be inspired, I guess?
Yeah, okay.
And
sure.
just, like, shake your
but
fist
I can't
at those
tell which
man
one's
ducks.
which.
Really?
Yeah, no.
The man ducks have a green head.
Oh.
The lady ducks are brown.
I didn't go to your farmer's college or whatever the fuck.
Dude!
Look, all I know is that in Stardew Valley, all of my ducks have green heads, and they leave me eggs.
Well, that is physically impossible.
So...
yeah, no.
I don't have any better... Anyway, so I think we both... Well, you had a story you wanted to touch on, rather than really get into.
Yeah, you want me to do that
Do
now?
you want to do that one and then your story, or do you want to do that and then I'll do my story and then you end with your story?
No, let's do that.
Okay.
It's nothing to write home about, but it's not bad either, so... This one is called, the one, I'm just going to read the one tiny little excerpt here because I LOL'd at it, but it's called Learning Afternoon Delight by Kat Lee, formerly Pirate Turner.
I saw, this is a very prolific author on Archive of Our Own, this Kat
Well, this is on
Lee,
fanfiction.net.
Oh, well, I guess she's on both then.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
All the fuck over the place is this person. But yeah, and I do remember seeing that title, but I didn't.
I just really enjoyed this little bit. Okay, so Donkey and Puss, sorry, are tickling each other in a field, and Puss is tickling him with the feather on his hat. So here we go. Puss made another sweep with his cap, stroking Donkey in further, more private areas as he continued to purr.
With his cap?
He's got a feather on it.
Right, okay.
The long yellow feather stroked his mate between his powerful hind legs. No, Donkey brayed as he rolled even more fiercely upon his back. He could barely say anything for laughing so hard. Puss ran the feather even further along and then swept it in tantalizing circles around the rearing head of Donkey's stallion.
Rearing? Mm-hmm. So I thought that this was butt, was what they were talking about. Apparently not. Okay, sure.
Donkey brayed so loudly that every bird in the forest went flying from the trees. Puss looked up as they took flight, his irises transforming into dangerous black slits within his big green eyes. His fur changed its tone, and he was just about to spring when Donkey rolled over again and barely missed him with a flying hoof. So, they continue to tickle each other some more, and then they quit because they're done with their little tickle game. And the closing line I really enjoyed. He began his display of other things he had learned from the infamous Puss in Boots, with a kiss whose gentle passion shot through Puss like an arrow straight to his heart and out the ends of his curling toes and swishing orange tail. And then the end. I enjoyed the imagery of this story.
How sweet.
Yeah. Something like that.
A tickle fight. Followed by an arrow kiss.
Yes. And a rearing stallion.
Yeah, I really thought that was talking about him going at his butthole. But apparently not. I don't know how I got that impression.
Well, he did say circles, like tantalizing circles. So
right, and didn't it also say like between his hocks or something like that?
But behind his rear legs, yeah.
I guess that's probably.
Well, that's how donkeys are situated,
right, situated. I guess that's true.
So
then again, I didn't go to your farm college, so I guess I don't know exactly what the whole situation of a donkey's Jenny's is.
Ew! Ew! Don't say that.
Jenny's or specifically
donkeys? Yeah, no, that all of it, but gross. Jenny's. Ugh. Steve, don't be gross. That's what I'm taking issue with in all of this.
Yep. So we're going to do your last one last, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my last one, it's called Our Wedding Night. It's by Shy Bookworm 18 on fanfiction.net. Side note, if you search for Our Wedding Night on fanfiction.net, boy, you get like so many results. But this one, specifically, is about Shrek and a female OC. So, with all the jokey joke fucking, I thought that this one was actually going to be, like, sincere and real. The more I read it, the less sure I was that it was sincere and not a joke. But then, something happened that made me think all over again that it was actually a sincere bit of
oh boy, I can't
fiction.
Wait.
Like, this person actually wants to fuck Shrek for real, or at least has created a character within their mind who wants to fuck Shrek for real, right? So our narrator / OC has just married Shrek after a whirlwind courtship / romance that lasted like 2 days or something. It's kind of vague, but it was obviously very, very, very short.
Right.
And so this is where the story it starts with her in their marital bed, and he is yet to come join her. So I'm not sure exactly what the backstory is, but that's kind of like the inkling that you're given from reading it, right?
Okay.
But regardless, she is both nervous and excited about this marital bed. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. She's coming into the bedroom. He's already in the marital bed. Sorry. And as she enters the room, she spots some cheese curls that he has with him. Now, is that a thing?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was...
I'm just thinking about how much I would have enjoyed some cheese curls on my wedding night. I could go for some cheese curls right now, honestly.
Well, just you wait. So is this something? Is the next thing I have written. You say no. This has to be something. Apparently it's not. He pulls her down onto the bed. During this small... And they start, like, making out.
Generally Shrek eats, like, really gross things, like the worm pie I referenced in a different story. Like, gross, disgusting sludge crap. So I don't even know why he would have cheese curls.
During this... So they start making out, and he's, like, kissing her neck or whatever. During this small interlude, Shrek buried his green face in the crook of my neck, inhaling my clean, soapy scent, which was in stark contrast of his putrid body odor. Others may retch at his scent, but I welcome it full-heartedly. I don't think that's a phrase, full-heartedly. His mouth caressed the sensitive skin of my neck. His uneven teeth raked my flesh, and a gasp left my plush lips.
God.
He may be lacking in some regards, but he always knew how to turn me on, make me putty in his hands, soft and malleable, there's that word again, to his touch. Encouraged by my quiet moaning, my ogre began to nip more roughly at my delicate skin, forcing me to whimper and yelp more loudly. I rubbed my thighs together in a futile attempt to dissipate the growing heat.
To start fire? I don't know.
To dissipate the growing heat between my thighs.
So
I would
close.
think that would make more heat, not dissipate it in any way. But Shrek would have none of that. He wrapped my waist in a giant hand and pulled me closer to him, making me forget what I was doing. His hands traversed my much smaller body, and I shivered in anticipation. I'd slept with other people before, but not an ogre. You don't say. Would it hurt? Did ogres function the same as humans down there? Pulling me out of my...
Probably questions you should have asked
before you got married, yeah. Pulling me out of my thoughts, Shrek's mouth found mine and claimed it for his own, his lips crushed against mine. This wasn't fair. I wanted to pleasure him just as much as he was pleasuring me. I needed to make him feel good. Out of curiosity, solely to see how he would react, I gently fondled his green, protruding auditory orifices. Somebody just got a new thesaurus.
Wow.
To which he responded with a throaty, lustful...
I'm still absorbing that.
Green, protruding auditory orifices. Now, the orifices aren't what protrudes, right? So that's...
I mean, no, I think his ears are on a little bit of a stalk.
But that's...
So, I mean, the orifice is still protruding from his head.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not sticking up for this author's word choices,
I didn't think about it that way, but I guess maybe you're right. I don't really remember Shrek's anatomy that well. Okay. Still, it's a confounding sequence of words to put in order.
For sure.
To which he responded with a throaty, lustful moan, much to my delight. I didn't think playing with his ear would turn him on, but there he was, on top of me with his hard ogrehood.
Why you gotta?
Pressed against my own sex. So, I just want to stop here and talk about how I love the word choices in regards to the puritanical, you know what I mean, like sex and all, and then the ogrehood, which I guess is just, which is a pun on manhood, which I guess is also a pretty
tame.
Yeah, but only used by weirdos, right? Either they're way restrained weirdos or they're way unrestrained weirdos. Yes. Nobody in the middle of the spectrum uses the word manhood to refer to a penis. Against my own sex. He bent down to whisper in my ear, his breath ticklish on my skin as the scent of a rancid swamp invaded my nostrils.
Oh.
Get the cheese doodles.
No!
How could I refuse such a request? I reached over to where the cheese doodles had fallen onto the floor and hurriedly opened the cellophane bag. Shrek watched me with a lascivious smirk on his broad green face, blustering me further. Oh God, I was really going to go through with this, wasn't I? Instead of feeling repulsed by this whole situation, the fire in my nether regions was growing, threatening to burn me alive if I didn't do something about it, and fast. As if reading my mind, or at least noticing how bright red my face was, my husband took a cheese curl from the bag and wrapped my hand around it. Once I had a firm grasp on the snack, he took my wrist and guided the orange cheese puff to his ear. Were we doing it there? The very thought made me flush even more scarlet than I had been before, and the fire in my stomach was growing ever hotter. With his gentle guiding touch, I began to thrust the ear doodle in and out of his ear.
What? Wait. Can I just pause you here?
Yep.
I have a question.
Sure.
Now, when she said that she didn't understand how an ogre's nether regions worked, right? Now wait, stay with me here. That implied that they'd never, like, been together biblically, right? But, like, this whole cheese girl feels like they've, fooled around with cheese curls before. So, like, which is it?
So there was something that I thought I got in my copy pasta that apparently I didn't, where when she first saw the cheese doodles, she said something to the effect of, what are the odds that I would find somebody and they would be an ogre and they would share my exact same fetish?
Oh, so they've both got a pre-existing cheese curl fetish.
Cheese curl fetish, I think. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I really thought that was in here, but I guess it was not. But so yeah, so maybe this is what got them together in the
like
first
a
place.
cheese
maybe
doodle,
they were both like
dating site or
staring
something?
longly at like the last bag of Cheetos in like a bodega or something, and like touching themselves lightly while looking at it, and they like caught each other's eyes, and like that's I don't know. That was all left out, but it did say shares my exact fetish.
Gotcha.
With his gentle guiding touch, I began to thrust the ear doodle in and out of his ear. He groaned with pure lust in his voice, encouraging me to force the grainy snack in and out of his ear hole even faster. He began to grind against me in his need, and I nearly screamed in shock. How big was he? My own desire being sated. So I don't know if that means that she went over the edge just by him grinding his own. She fell off the side. She had an overload just from him grinding his ogrehood against her sex. Or if she specifically means the fact that her putting the doodle in and out of his ear is her desire. And so she's being sated simply by doing that?
Can't answer that question,
right. My own desire being sated, I thrust the cheese curl harder into his ear, my other hand fondling and tugging gently at his other. I'm guessing that means ear rather than over.
Okay.
I don't know how long we carried on like this. It could have been minutes, hours, weeks, years, but it felt like an eternity that our bodies were moving against each other in perfect synchronicity, the cheese doodle going impressively far into Shrek's ear. With a grunt, Shrek mumbled, "It'll all be ogre soon."
No.
Oh God, it turned me on to hear him make puns during the middle of lovemaking.
Is this the point where you thought maybe it was a joke?
Yes. Okay. This was getting there. I mean, with the pounding the cheese curl and then that, right. It drove me to my climax, a screaming, toe-curling climax that left me a shuddering little ball of bliss. Shrek followed soon after, bucking his hips against mine one last time as he yelled through his orgasm, shouting my name, ogre and ogre. As we lay together, our limbs entwined in a beautiful mess, he pulled the cheese doodle I had left in his ear and ate it, laughing at my disgusted expression. Then he pulled me closer and planted kisses all over my face, murmuring how much ogres are like onions and how much he loved me. And thus our first night together as newlyweds came to a blissful end, and with me curled up in my husband's embrace. So
she never even got to see his ogrehood.
Right. It makes it sound like there was no actual penetration.
Yeah,
it was all just fraudage. So I thought that this was just another joke thing, right? With the ogre pun and here's the thing that makes me think it wasn't. This was chapter 1.
Oh.
There's a chapter 2. The second chapter has nothing in it except her waking up in their marital bed and thinking about how great the night before was. And then she hears some noise, and then she goes out to the kitchen, and he's making her breakfast, and they have some banter about how much they love each other and everything. And this whole second chapter is as long as the first chapter was with all of the fucking.
Wow.
And there's nothing in there that's like explicitly like, do you get it? You know what I mean? Like it seems like a real. It's that thing that you see in a lot of what I would dub sincere fan fiction,
right?
Where there's some fucking, and then there's like some relationship stuff, and then there's more fucking. Except there was no more fucking after. It was just the relationship stuff followed.
So we never get to
the
see
cheese
the
curl
overhead.
fucking. So my question to you is, do you think that this is a real... Do you think this comes from the heart, even if she doesn't necessarily want to fuck Shrek and shove a cheese doodle in him or whatever?
Maybe it was like some sort of like request or something?
Yeah, or like a prompt?
Yeah, like... Because I know I've seen games where it's like they give you like 5 words and you have to somehow put like all these disparate words into your fan fiction in a way that makes sense. So like maybe.
But then why the breakfast chapter? I guess is the thing that I don't
maybe she or he got really into the story that they were writing.
I guess. I mean, my thought is that this is an actual...
I'm going to say 70% sincere.
Yeah, I think this is a thing that this person actually wanted to write, rather than, I'm going to write this and then put it on fanfiction.net and then link it to all my bros. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But it was still bizarre enough.
Yes.
That...
Extremely.
I thought that it fit well into our whole milieu.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's weird.
And I like the fact that he ate it at the end. That was... Yeah. So that was my last thing. You have another one, though.
I do have another one. Okay. Now, this one is called Charmed by Kera OS on fanfiction.net.
This is a Shrek X Charmed crossover.
No.
Damn.
It is
I've never actually
a
seen
Puss
Charmed,
in
no.
Boots by Prince Charming. So now, I picked this one because I was confused. Now, in the story, and I don't mean I was confused about the plot. That's not... In the story...
No, it was badly formed.
Yes. Puss in Boots gets left behind during a battle between Prince Charming and his mother and, like, the good guys. That happened in the second movie. I remember that. But, so, Prince Charming rescues him and brings him home, and he needs to make sure that his mother doesn't find out that he's harboring this enemy. So he turns him into a human.
Oh, so he was on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he turns him into a human.
The prince does?
Yes.
Does he have magic powers?
There's a potion. This is it's in the movie.
Right, I'm just trying to get it all right in my head.
Right, no. So he turns him into a person, and like he's obviously naked because he was a cat
Obviously.
wearing a hat.
Does he still have the hat?
Yes.
Does he look like Antonio Banderas?
The only things covering the man were his boots, his hat, and his sword belt. He had lightly tanned skin with a slight form hiding lean muscles. He had dark curly hair falling slightly into his closed eyes, and he was very beautiful.
I mean, except for the lightly tan skin. I guess that does sound like it.
So his mom bursts in and is like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, this is like a slave someone gave me." And she's like, all right.
Like, oh yeah, prove it.
And then, like, leaves. But then they get into, like, a little, like, banter exchange because the prince said that his name was Boots. And Puss was like, oh, that's real creative. Like, way to go, good naming. And so they get into, like, a kind of, like, little banter there. And, you know, Charming, like, gets him up against the wall. And the thing that I'm confused about is, now the first chapter was written relatively well, right? This, once they get into it, is just like they were bashing their face against the keyboard. I'm just gonna read some of my favorite bits here. As Puss gasped, Prince Charming talk, fool, advantage of it slipping his tongue in the other hot mouth. So, like, this is what I'm talking about, okay? After finally unbuttoning the black tonic, like, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking to you about, because it's just, like, misuse of word after misuse of word, and I couldn't even... I was like, did I start reading a different story? Because it was just so... jarring, because, like, I mean, while the first half of this story wasn't something I would read on my own, like, at least I wasn't, like, reading it wanting to gouge my eyes out. You know what I mean?
Right. So, do you think this was another case of somebody doing it for the lulz, and
no, I don't think that.
They did the first chapter relatively well in order to pull people in, and then, like, dropped the bomb on them?
I don't No, my guess was that this person got so, like, revved up by the story that they were writing that they just couldn't even, like...
They could only type one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the way I kind of feel about it. Now, this is another one of those where, unless I read, like, the whole chapter 2, there's no way you're going to get the full effect of it, so I just highly suggest that people go and read it in the show notes, because I just really enjoyed the miswords. Because that's something that I really get a kick out of. So
yeah, I love when they're like tonic, where it's only one word off, but the word completely changes, or one letter off rather, and they completely change the
I really enjoyed the
if you have some more selections,
the talk fool FOOL,
right? That's
yeah.
Oh, so it was FOOL.
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay, because that's how I pictured it at first. TOCK FOOL. Yeah. So, I just really, really enjoyed it. The black tonic, I just, that was... That's Korean tonic that's been fermented.
But yeah, so they do end up doing it, and then Fiona walks in and is like, Shrek, why? Because in the movie, Prince Charming is masquerading as Shrek as a human.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, why is my husband having sex with this weirdo man? And then he goes after her and is like, no, I'm not actually your husband, and this is actually a cat, and,
It's really... You're undercutting your... No, it's fine. I'm actually not the guy that you think I am, and also this is a cat. It's like, your credibility goes from, 0 to, 70, back down to 4. But,
yeah, so it'll be in the links. I suggest It's not a long story, but like you said earlier, we're trying to keep this shorter, so I would suggest it. Highly recommend.
So that was Shrek. To me, this is the most baffling fandom we've gotten to yet. Again, mostly because it seems to be taken over by internet bros, which is weird. I wasn't sure what any of this was real or wasn't real. Which is...
I tried to take ones that I think are probably legit, but it's really hard to tell sometimes.
Right, and one of the things I wrote here was, I'm not sure how much of my being unable to tell this is me not being familiar with the world and how much of it is everyone on the internet being horrible, but it seems from your...
Right.
My intuition was that it was everyone on the internet being horrible, and you seem to be reinforcing that for me.
Right.
And, I get, I've read some stories like the Dr. Robotnik thing, or the FF7 thing.
Right.
Or I read that Jurassic Park thing.
And you can tell
every once in a while, I think that it's fine, you're taking the piss out of, the whole... But when an entire fandom has been taken over by those people...
Right.
That's... And I shouldn't have used the word those people with that tone of voice, but...
We know what those people you're talking about.
But when an entire fandom has been perverted in that way, not in the way that we're used to them being perverted, I don't know, it just kind of makes me, it, bums me out, and it seems kind of mean.
Right.
Which makes me sound like now I know for a fact that I truly have completed my transformation into a liberal pussy, that I think that it's mean that a bunch of 14-year-olds on the internet have made a bunch of other people on the internet sad because they took their weird perversion and made it a joke.
Well, but, here's the thing, though. And I can't remember if I had this conversation with you last time I recorded, or if I was talking to a friend who probably doesn't want her name on this podcast about it. But, Chris and I were watching Tosh.0 the other night, and there was this dude who was super into wrestling that he was doing the web redemption of, because this guy was, shrieking and dancing around like a girl. And, your first instinct, of course, is to laugh at this dude. But my second instinct was, man, it must be really cool to be that excited about anything. I wish I had that much joy. Right.
I
wish that I was excited about any single thing, as excited as that man is. So, you know what? If, this is what you've got and it makes you that happy, I'm actually jealous of you, not derisive of you at all. So I feel...
We'll laugh at your shitty word choice and grammar.
I feel bad that this fandom has clearly been taken over by lamos.
Yep.
Like, that's not cool.
And
These
how
guys
much of a
had
lame
something...
wad does that turn me into?
Right.
I'm upset that this fandom has been taken over by lame-os.
That means that you're compassionate.
Yeah,
So,
a lame-o.
No.
Or a lame wad.
No. So, I mean, that's where I fall on it. I have a hard time making fun of anybody who's super into a thing because I can't even remember what it's like to feel like that.
But if you had told me before we started this podcast that I would ever get to a fandom that I felt bad for the base of the fandom because some bullies had taken it over from them, I would have been like, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said. And now I legitimately do. So,
right. Whatever.
What are you going to do? Ugh. Thanks for listening. By now, if you're hearing this, you've had a chance to hear the Transformers episode, which I think might be my favorite thing we've ever done.
I so enjoyed recording that.
I hope it comes out.
That was so
I hope
much
it comes
fun.
out as well in the listening as it did in the recording.
I hope so too. Cause
I was crying, and I legitimately just doing the research for that episode was pure joy.
I mean,
pure joy.
Recording it made me so legitimately happy.
Right.
You know,
and these people are so fucking into this shit.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man, and they don't give a fuck, and they've made their own rules about it, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was great. So
I agree.
if you, for some reason, if you're skipping around, maybe you're just a Shrek fan, and this just popped up in your iTunes recommend.
You're probably pretty disappointed.
But
we love you, and I'm sorry that your fandom's been taken over.
But go listen to the Transformers episode and just be
happy.
Be transported to a world of wonder which you never thought existed. It's so beautiful. God, I love it. But yeah, hopefully this episode sounds pretty good. We spent a lot of time trying to make the microphones work.
Yeah.
I've saved the settings in multiple programs now, so hopefully it's okay for the next one.
And I think it's relatively shorter-ish.
This one also is shorter. But yeah, unfortunately they can't all be Transformers, can they?
No, they can't.
But if you like us at all, follow us on Twitter at /andburnpod, email us at /andburnpod or /andburnpod@gmail.com. Check out our Tumblr at online.murderhouseonline.online, where Kera has taken all of our episodes. Are you completely caught up now?
Yes, I am.
She is completely caught up now, so the list is current with every episode. Every episode has got links to pretty much every story. I think there were a couple that you haven't been able to find or something.
Yeah,
last time I looked anyway, there were a couple dead links. But it talks
that's
about
not
what we
our
talked
fault.
about, and it's got a link to the episode where you can download it, and it's got links to all the stories, so you can go and see that we're not making any of this shit up.
Yeah.
It is all 100% real.
I really enjoyed doing it, too, so that was nice.
Tell your friends, keep the faith. Let me know what your Steam name is. If you're playing Battleborn on PC, you'll get lots of free kills against me because I am old and bad at video games. Kira, do you have anything to plug or say before we go?
Not yet, but soon. So
again, if you haven't heard the other episodes, if you can, before Kira announces it on the show, if you can find Kira's Etsy shop and email me the name of it, I will PayPal you $5. That is a legit thing. I'm curious to see.
But you better do it quick, because I want to start.
And what did I promise $2 for this time? Oh, if you got my Gosling joke. If you got my Gosling joke, tell me what the joke was. Email me. I'll PayPal you $2. I really play fast and loose with that dead man money.
You do.
So you're not ready to plug that yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm in Tinarius on Steam if you want to play me in Battleborn. It's a lot of fun. That's also my Xbox name. Go ahead and add me. Just send me a message saying that you heard me on Slash and Burn, and I won't be like, who the fuck is this weirdo? Or I will be, who the fuck is this weirdo? But
in a good way?
It will be the good kind of weirdo, right?
Who's this awesome weirdo?
We'll be back. We'll be back next time with a tag episode. Don't know what it is yet. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We usually come up with these things a couple days before we record.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Again, thank you for listening. Get in contact with us. We love to hear from you. Until next time, everyone, keep your fic near your dick.
That's right.
You still like that?
I still like it a lot. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Okay. Well, we'll try it out for a couple more weeks and decide. Bye, everybody.